Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news. Bishop Neil Ellis speaks out after church tithes and offerings are stolen.
Jamaican musician Jacure is defending his name. That story's coming up straight ahead.
Police need your help in solving an early morning murder.
Firefighters called to a burning dump site in a residential area. That story straight ahead.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina McNeil. Topping news tonight, the senior pastor of Mount Tabor Baptist Church is speaking out after 3 security officers were robbed at gunpoint transporting the church's tithes and offerings yesterday afternoon. Bishop Neil C. Ellis says the incident took place as the security team was about to leave church grounds. That's when reports are they were held up by 3 men. Ellis says he is thankful no one was injured, but the incident says something about crime in the country.
Nobody is off limits. Not now. Not in our country, unfortunately. That's where we've come. Nobody's off limits, you know.
Ellis says Hurricane Matthew has left a lot of people in desperate situations, but there are some who are doing evil things to try to make ends meet.
A lot of criminal activities that are taking place in our city in particular today, a lot of them are not taking place by criminals. I think it's happening by desperate people. This is a tough period we're in here in the country, and we cannot take Hurricane Matthew lightly.
While his security team is assessing the incident and determining how to prevent future incidents, Ellis says he is praying for the nation, but he notes there is a silver lining to this cloud.
I pray that we just intensify our efforts to cover this country and be the spiritual guardians that we are called to be, so that 1, peace again would prevail, and 2, real needs would be met. The blessing of it is in that deposit, more than 85% of it were checks. So the cash was very little.
Ellis could not say exactly how much money had been stolen in the robbery. This incident came as Mount Tabor was assisting church members with hurricane relief and repairs. Ellis says the robbery will not affect relief efforts. Well, following a fight in the Coral Towers lobby of the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort, Jamaican reggae artist Jacure is seeking to clarify what happened during that altercation, part of which was captured on video. Giorgio Sturp reports.
Following a successful concert here at the Kendall Isaacs Gym on Saturday night, Jamaican artist Jacure was involved in an altercation that has left him now defending his name. Jamaican reggae artist Jacure says after leaving the concert, he and his friends returned to the Atlantis Resort to change their clothes before heading back to another party. But that's when one of his companions got into a verbal altercation that turned physical, and that part of it was caught on camera. Cure says he stepped in an attempt to separate the men, but now that the video has circulated on social media, he is disturbed by rumors that he was injured because he was reportedly involved with another man's wife.
I wasn't in a fight and I wasn't fighting. I didn't get knocked down and I didn't get beat up by somebody for their wife, or get beat up by the promoter, or get beat up by no engineer.
During the 25-minute altercation, the artist says he was shocked that no hotel security officers intervened. He does, however, claim that a man wearing a coral shirt and khaki pants was the person behind the camera during the incident.
On the negligence of the Atlantis, I am still going to emphasize that if their security wasn't trying to record this and they were doing their job, Jacure wouldn't be in this mess. So I end up doing Atlantis security guard work by part in this. I'm an artist. I just came from a show. This is what I do. I'm not a fight partner. I'm not a referee.
The musician says he is upset that his name is being smeared, but he wants his fans to know that he does not promote violence.
The guy held my shirt, yes, and he pulled me and my buttons tear off and I fell to the ground. All you can see in the video, he ran. When I was in the ground, it's not like somebody was kicking my head. He ran. I was on the ground, I could get up, And if I was knocked out, I have a lot of friends that were standing there. They didn't expect it would happen so fast for the guy to drop me. As you could look in the video, he's running right through the door. And where you see me is where the door is just opening.
Our News spoke with Atlanta's Public Relations Manager Ed Fields, who says after reviewing the video, he can clearly see Atlanta's security guards attempting to defuse the fight. Fields says security guards showed up 20 minutes into the video, but the matter is under investigation. Reporting for Our News, I'm Georgia Stirrup.
In other news, police are investigating the country's latest murder that occurred early this morning. Police say shortly after midnight, there were reports that a man had been shot outside a nightclub on Arundel Street. Upon arrival, police found a man who had been shot. The man, whose identity has not yet been released, was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are asking anyone with information about this murder or any other crime to contact them at Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS or the nearest police station. Meanwhile, residents of the St. Anne's Estate subdivision are outraged that an illegal dumping site sits just behind their homes and has now become a daily pit stop for dump truck drivers. Our Simone Davis spoke to several residents who say they're not only battling thick smoke, but also the health issues that come along with it. Here's her report. Simone?
That's right, Christina. Residents in this St. Anne's subdivision say they are frustrated with the burning dump that's just behind their houses that are putting their families at risk. Residents we spoke to said they've been suffering in their community for years and have complained over and over, and their cries have yet to be heard.
The other night we had more than enough smoke. I mean, everybody had to basically shut their windows down. My wife was coughing basically all night long. I feel like we're actually experiencing some of the same effects of the persons that complain about the dumping site out there.
Shanique Davis and her family have been living in St. Anne's Estate for about 5 years. She said she's witnessed the illegal dumping become more common in the area every year, and her main concern is her family's health.
It's so hazardous. Like when we have kids and you come home, the house is just full of smoke, and it's like every week at least once or twice.
Another resident said the site being a health hazard is just one part of the problem, because she's also concerned about the safety of her family and neighbors, especially the children.
It's really a vexing problem, and outside of just being a health hazard, it's a safety issue because you have these trucks speeding through the neighborhood, and we have little children in the neighborhood, you know, and so they can't even play in the street because you don't know when they're going to come through with these dump trucks. And like Ms. Johnson said, they don't even care.
This mother of two said her children wake up coughing almost every morning, suffering from the thick smoke that billows in their bedrooms whenever the dump burns. She said something must be done immediately because she would not want to have to evacuate the place she calls home.
I have 2 kids, and they go to Aquinas, St. Francis, St. Joseph, and in the morning time they wake up coughing. When you wake up in the morning time, smoke are in their room. So it's really bad what those guys are doing.
Heald called for the entrance to the dump site to be permanently blocked off.
Well, we understand that this entrance is the entrance that is easier for them to use. We would love to have the developers, who is Arawak Homes, to basically close that off, because if they are denied access there and we put signs up stating that dumping back there is illegal. So for those persons who are not connected to whoever landowners are around here, would see that this is not the neighborhood where you want to go in and dump.
Residents said they've taken every legal route to have the matter addressed and have only been either ignored or disappointed. Our news team reached out to the president of Arawak Homes Association, Brandon Wilson, who said the constant dumping is a vexing issue and it's something the association is also frustrated with. He said the association is doing all that it can to put a stop to the issue, but there's only so much that it can do when people are constantly breaking the law. Calls made to the Minister of Housing for comment were unanswered up to news time. Now those residents are calling on developers to address this issue immediately before they are forced to take matters into their own hands. For Our News, I'm Simone Davis. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Simone. Still to come on Our News, the Prime Minister agrees more transparency is needed in government deals. 1,000 delegates descend on the Bahamas for an aviation conference next month and plans to celebrate National Women's Week. That's coming up when Our News returns.